Minecraft has seen a massive comeback over the past 4 years or so. And whether it's because of PewDiePie and his Let's Play series, Dream and his thrilling Manhunts, or simply pure nostalgia, one thing is certain. Millions of people came back to the game because of it. And the overnight rise to stardom of creators such as Ranboo, TommyInnit, Phils, or Tubbo clearly reflects that. But where did all these guys come from? How did we get here in the first place? And I think most importantly, what happened to Minecraft? Well, sit back, relax, grab yourself something to drink. Let's find out together as we go on a journey to uncover why this incredibly popular game had so many people lose interest in it at one point. What exactly led to its sudden and gigantic comeback years later?
Hey, Cuffley!
Who said that?
I did! Come on, man, you can't just start the video off without telling them, right?
Oh yeah, right. Thanks. Hi, my name is Cuffley, and believe it or not, this is my first real video actually. So if you by any chance like it, I'd really appreciate if you click that red subscribe button down below. It's free, plus you can always change your mind later. Alright, on with the video. My adventure of Minecraft started over a decade ago at this point. The year was 2012, and third grade me was about to finish primary school. It just so happened that somewhere around the same time I first heard the name Minecraft being tossed around. Which may sound weird now, but it didn't mean much back then. All I knew is that there was this blocky game my classmates had been obsessing over, and that its main selling point was that it had no real rules or goals. Instead, a giant open world for you to explore, do, and build pretty much whatever. Want to make a house out of lime wool and mossy cobblestone? You can! Maybe try to create a gigantic water slide, only to end up with something that barely counts as a water slide? You can! Want to turn these villager kids into orphans?
You absolutely should.
Now, how cool is that? I mean, the concept as a whole, not the last part specifically. Well, I would say very much so. And that, plus the constant pressure to play the game for my friends, left third grade me without much of a choice. I just had to check this Minecraft thing out. And that's kind of how it all started. Man, playing Minecraft for the first time was such a blast! It's simple yet engaging gameplay, charming and one-of-a-kind art style, and an absolute masterpiece of a soundtrack. All these things combined simply made for a game like no other. Which is probably why just 2 years later in 2014, Minecraft became one of, if not the biggest gaming sensation of all time. Actually, even that would be an understatement. As word of mouth started to spread, friends began inviting friends, and they would invite theirs to check the game out. Then came along the countless Let's Plays, tutorials, and music parodies you could find all over YouTube, which only boosted Minecraft's already rapidly growing popularity. And with massive updates adding tons of new and creative features every few months, the game didn't stop feeling fresh and exciting for a second. So, Minecraft was seemingly at its peak. People loved the updates, the sales were through the roof. All that happening, what could possibly go wrong? Turns out, quite a lot. In early September of that same year, rumors began cropping up about a possible deal between Mojang and, weirdly of all companies, Microsoft. These rumors were also likely to be true, as they were sparked by a slew of reports from credible inside sources, strongly indicating that Microsoft was planning to straight up buy Mojang, and with it, rights to Minecraft. Now, let's just say the community wasn't too happy when they heard the news. Okay, who am I kidding? People were furious. And some, including myself, went as far as to leave the game altogether. But why? Well, there were many signs pointing to the acquisition being a bad thing for the game. See, Minecraft was so beloved partly because it wasn't made by another soulless corporation. Mojang, being a small indie studio from Sweden, didn't care about maximizing profits. Instead, they focused solely on their game and its players, with a simple goal of making it the best it could possibly be. And that same noble goal just wasn't guaranteed on the Microsoft. Considering their past with acquiring different studios, people were fearful of the idea that they would take Minecraft in a vastly different direction. Or even worse, make it a lot more restrictive, by having items that used to be free like skins, maps, and texture packs, now locked behind a paywall. With all that being said, at the end of the day, these were just rumors. It's not like they were real or anything, right? Right? Oh no, they weren't. At least until September 15 rolled around. With it, a surprise announcement from Mojang themselves. Well, it was finally official. The company was in the midst of being acquired by Microsoft. Yeah. Now, while I don't think the acquisition was all bad, or all good for that matter, I do believe it marked an end of an era of sorts. I mean, let's face it, Minecraft was no longer just a small indie game anymore. It was much closer to a global phenomenon. Now, with a company as big as Microsoft in charge, things were bound to change even more. And sure enough, slowly but surely, official news about Minecraft began to slow down, and for the first time in the game's history, a whole year passed without a major update. With 2016 fast approaching, players started wondering, what happened to Mojang? Not Minecraft, Mojang. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, that would make for a pretty good YouTube title. The answer? They were busy working on the newest and biggest update yet. An update so big, in fact, it took a whopping year and a half just to get finished. And an update so infamous, I haven't mentioned it by name yet. It's the combat update. Released on February 29th, 2016, the combat update featured tons of new items and even more improvements to the overall game, with its main theme being, as the name suggests, overhauling Minecraft's old combat system. And while some of these changes were generally liked by the community, like the addition of end cities, elytras, and especially dual wielding, making mining and cave exploration a lot more enjoyable, the ones that were supposed to be the main focus, you know, the combat ones, yeah, they weren't received nearly as positively. Let's see. Confusing damage changes to all weapons, like making a wooden axe just as good as a diamond sword for some reason. The newly added shields, being able to block practically all incoming attacks, and the addition of hard to craft and mostly useless tipped arrows are just to name a few. But none of these changes aid your body nearly as much as the addition of an attack strength mechanic. In case you need a refresher, previous versions of the game had you spam leftward to deal as much damage as possible. And sure, it wasn't the best fighting system in all of gaming, but it got the job done and was fairly easy to understand. Well, now, however, in exchange for making the weapons overall stronger, you had a very noticeable cooldown after each strike, which meant swinging like a madman simply wouldn't cut it anymore. You either timed your attacks just right, or you were severely punished by dealing practically no damage at all. Here's a quick question, why? There were a lot of things players didn't like about the overhaul combat. Compared to its fast-paced and simple predecessor, the new system was a lot less intuitive. And while it worked pretty well with mobs, against other players, not so much. The long weapon cooldown, as well as the introduction of shields, made fights significantly slower and just more boring for some, especially those already used to Minecraft's fast-paced PvP combat. Thankfully, these issues could easily be fixed with an update. After all, listening to player feedback was what Mojang always prided themselves on. But it never really happened. Mojang stood their ground, said they were happy with the changes implemented, and instead gave players 1.10, which honestly felt more like a band-aid update than an actual update. The only substantial things it added were reskins of skeletons and zombies and polar bears, a mob that to this day has pretty much no use whatsoever. It's just there, and it's cute. That's one upside. Simply put, the community didn't like how with each new update, Mojang would add either features that were considered useless by most, or on the flip side, barely anything at all. Instead of, I don't know, focusing on the game's more fundamental issues, like empty and interesting oceans, for example, or caves being practically unchanged since 2009. All these things had to wait, however, because the developers decided they had different plans for the game. And so, this was the time when player numbers and overall popularity of Minecraft stopped growing. For the first time ever, began dropping. Using Google Trends, the data clearly shows that after the 1.9 update in early 2016, interest in the game had drastically decreased. So much so that in October of that same year, just 7 months later mind you, interest in Minecraft had been almost cut in half. Yikes. Needless to say, things were not looking good. It all wasn't helped by the fact that for the next year and a half, Minecraft didn't see many notable changes or content additions. I mean, yeah, there were the Exploration World of Color updates, which to Mojang's credit did add some cool new stuff like the spooky woodland mansions, a crafting recipe book for newer players, and a more vibrant color palette with modernized textures. As welcome as all these changes were, however, they just weren't big or exciting enough for interest in Minecraft to stop dwindling. For that to happen, Minecraft needed something huge. Something that would really shake up the game and make it interesting again. That something was Update Aquatic. On the surface, pun intended, when it was first announced during Minecraft Earth in late 2017, it didn't seem all too significant. I mean, look, they added bubble columns and tridents? Actually, I take that back, tridents are so cool. Mojang was quick to clarify, however, that with this update in particular, they were promising something much bigger. More specifically, a gigantic overhaul of oceans. One that would not only make the underwater areas look 10 times better, but also with the addition of shipwrecks, ocean ruins, and treasure chests, make them finally worth exploring. And the community absolutely loved it. I mean, the update's theme was exactly what fans have been asking so long for. And that kind of proved something began changing at Mojang. They were no longer just doing their own thing, glossing over player feedback. They were actively learning from it. Which, as it soon turned out, proved to be a genius decision, as the release of Update Aquatic in July of 2018 not only satisfied existing fans, a feat hard enough on its own, but it also reignited interest in the game. Minecraft was being genuinely brought up again. And while it wasn't enough for a full-blown comeback, it was a sign that Mojang's eggs were in the right basket. The only thing needed was to knock it out of the park with future updates. Which, spoiler alert, they did. April of 2019 is when Minecraft saw its biggest and probably most important update ever. The Village and Pillage update was a complete game changer for Minecraft, bringing raids, pillager outposts, redesigned buildings, improved trading. And because of just how many new, useful, and cool things were added, people were more eager than ever to come back to the game they once loved. Which paved the way for, drumroll please, the revival of Minecraft. Now, no one's quite sure who the credit for it, as plenty of important things happened at roughly the same time, but halfway through 2019, YouTube and TikTok exploded with tons upon tons of Minecraft videos. Events such as Minecraft Monday and SMP Live were being watched by tens of thousands, and led to hilarious new personalities like Jake Schlatt, Wilbur Soot, and Technoblade becoming famous practically overnight. And to top it all off, PewDiePie finally played through Minecraft, which all combined led to this. The views spoke for themselves, Minecraft was back. And if it still wasn't obvious, then Dream came out of the woodwork soon after and became Minecraft's biggest YouTuber ever with 30 million subscribers in just 2 years. Yeah. It was only up from there. After that, the long-awaited Nether update was officially announced during Minecraft Live 2019, and its release later in 2020 made Minecraft's hellish dimension significantly more fun to play in. In 2021 came Caves and Cliffs, reimagining, well, caves and cliffs. And in June of 2022, Minecraft got the Wild update, which ironically turned out to be not that wild at all, but that's a topic for another video. Depending on when you're watching this, Minecraft has been back for more than 4 years now. And besides a few hiccups along the way, people have been pretty happy about its new direction. Updates feel fresh and exciting again, and while the game has changed quite a lot over the years, it still hasn't lost its charm, and it's still a blast to play. So, the question now becomes, what's next for Minecraft? And for that, well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Who knows what cool and exciting things Mojang has in store for us. But until then, thanks for watching. Still here? Might as well subscribe then. Or not, it's up to you.